Wait, I will show you my cat. 1 minute. Ça va? Dis bonjour. Hello, my name is Nancy. I am a writer, and I recently published my first novel called The Color of Guilt. My first published novel, The Color of Guilt, it is a story of friendship, mental health, romance. The main character that you see on the cover, Julian, he's bipolar, and you follow him with his two best friends, with the girl he likes, and also another girl who is chasing after him. A girl who doesn't take no for an answer. She's really after him. He's not really interested, but anyway, so you have a lot of drama as well. um, and it's really, really focused on mental health, but it's also about music because him and his friends, they love music. So I talked a lot about music in that novel. It is a short novel available on Amazon and Kindle. If you're looking for a novel to read during winter, that could be a nice choice. And I read it, keep in mind that my first language is French. So I also write in French. And that's the first time that I publish a short story in English. So I hope if you happen to read it, please leave me a review because I'm curious to see what you're thinking about that story. So it is available on Amazon and Kindle if you want to read it. And actually, I went for a coffee with a friend and we were having a discussion about when someone writes, or even as a reader, when you read, what do you prefer? Dialogues versus long descriptions. Personally, I prefer dialogues, no matter when I read or when I write. As a writer, I prefer dialogues over long descriptions because I'm able to pace the story better and have a better control of the narrative when I allow my character to talk to each other. I don't think that there's anything wrong with having a lot of descriptions. Some writers are more comfortable describing everything surrounding around the character. They use pages after pages to do that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Personally, I just prefer to allow my characters to speak to each other. But no matter if you want to use dialogues or long descriptions, make sure that you always keep in mind why are your characters having a discussion? Why are they talking to each other? What do they have to say? What is important, I think, to have a good dialogues, if that's the path you want to use as a writer, you need to make sure that you are teaching something, that the reader will actually learn something by having these characters having a discussion. Because if you just have dialogues with people talking and talking and talking, they're not really saying anything. We are not learning anything about the characters, about the story, about their past. It's literally like having a conversation with someone who's just talking, but they're not really saying anything, like politician. And I think it is a waste of your time, and it is also a waste of the reader time. And there's nothing that I hate more when I'm reading a book and people are just talking and it's just going nowhere with that. I hate that. And that's why, because I love dialogue so much, I love having my characters interacting with each other. I need to make sure that every time they're speaking, they need to be a reason. They need to reveal something about themselves, something about the person they're speaking to, something about what they saw earlier, something about their past. Even when it's not too obvious, you need to give some type of hint. This way, you can have a successful dialogue, and it doesn't have to be super long. It really doesn't. Um, you could have them exchanging few words with each other, but maybe you're trying to show that one of the character is very shy. So when someone asks him a question, he only reply by yes, no. You're trying to show that he's not very talkative, or maybe that character is trying to tell the other character that they are in love with them without directly saying that they are in love with them. Maybe they're asking question about how is your day, and they're really trying to get to know the person they're in love with. Maybe that could be a hint that they are interested in that character. So you always need to keep in mind that you need to further the story. It need to further the narrative. It need to serve the story. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Keep in mind that my first language is French, so I'm literally struggling every time I speak English. It's actually easier for me to write in English because I don't have to think about the pronunciation, my accent. I just write. But when I have to speak, I need to think, oh my God, do I pronounce it right? Am I using the correct word? It is a real struggle, but please stick with me. Yes, so that's all I had to say. If you are a writer and you don't know which way you have to go, if you don't know if you have to pick long descriptions, my cat, he always starts making noise when I'm recording, which is really weird. But anyway, if you don't know which way to go, the way I decided when I was writing this novel, The Color of Guilt, I decided to go with the dialogues because even as a reader, when I read a book, it's as if I was with them, just like when I'm watching a movie, it's the same thing. I love having characters talking, and sometimes it doesn't have to be a deep conversation using complicated words. It can be very light, very normal, as long that we can learn something about them or about the story. When you actually read a story, do you prefer reading description about what he's doing, how blue the sky is, what he's cooking, how someone is acting around him, or do you want them to talk about it? And that's really a personal choice. I know that there's a lot of people who are just like me, and I write for these people. I know they would enjoy the dialogues just like I enjoy them. So one way or the other, I don't think that there's a better way. It just, as long that it helps further the story, that all it matters. And also keep in mind that sometimes as a writer, we are in love with our characters and we enjoy reading them, having them talking, interacting with each other. But maybe the person reading doesn't need to have them talking for, I don't know, 5, 6 pages. Maybe it's a little bit too much. So keep it short. Just make sure that you stick to what is this dialogue serving? Is it serving the story? Is it helping to further the story? That should be the main focus. And I truly believe that as long that you keep that in mind, you can write a good book, write a good story if you stick to the necessary, which is not, it's not easy, but just keep writing, read a lot. And that's how, personally, that's how I'm able to improve myself every time that I write a new story. I try to improve myself. I'm not perfect, but I still hope that people who are reading me can enjoy what I'm writing about, can enjoy the dialogues between the characters, and can also enjoy the story. I put a lot of work in it. Obviously, when you're not a Nippo baby or when you're not a big name, writing a book like that, you shouldn't have crazy expectations. So Wait, I will show you my cat. 1 minute. Ça va? Dis bonjour. Ouf. Okay, I'm back. I'm not going to keep you too long. That was just my cat who wanted to say hi. His name is Owen, and if you want to help me feed him because he's always eating, he loves to eat. Feel free to support my book, The Color of Guilt, so I can buy him some tuna cans and churros. So you can buy my novel, The Color of Guilt. It is available on Amazon and Kindle, and it's a very nice story. It's a short novel. I think it's under 150 pages. I wanted to share with you a nice review that one of my readers left me on Goodreads. After reading my novel, The Color of Guilt, this is what they wrote to me. First of all, they gave me 5 stars, which is very nice. And their name is Phoenix. They wrote me, I did not expect that plot twist. Oh my God. Da, 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 da. But seriously, I was I was a little 50-50 about halfway through the book, but I'm so happy I finished it. God knowing how Julian felt, my cat making noise again. God, knowing how Julian felt in his recovery and everything, it felt so real. Definitely will pay attention to any trigger warnings for anyone wanting to read this. It's on the heavier side. Low key, I agree. Also, really hoping there's a second book because it could not end like that. Wow. I don't know if you can. That was very kind. And if you ever read the story, no matter if you buy a physical copy or if you read it on Kindle, leave me a review and I will definitely share it. You never know how people are going to react to your writing, so it's really good to have a feedback. It feels good. And yeah, so I'm going to stop here and I will wish you to have a nice week. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.